globalization, India, especially Hyderabad, has become a hub for several multinational companies that include BPOs and call centers. The demand for qualified personnel who can converse well in French has gone up phenomenally, opening up new career possibilities for Indian youth. To discuss this new career scenario, we have with us retired Professor Ravi Ishwar Chand, former head of Department French, Osmania University. We welcome you to the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism, sir.
Thank you very much. I am very thankful for having been given this opportunity to talk out on what French learning means to the younger generation now. Yeah, definitely we have seen a sea of change in the last decade as far as the demand for foreign language speakers is concerned. People with foreign language skills are definitely much, they stand out. They're standing out in the crowd which is looking out for employment. Just not BPOs and what you said, call centers. We also got companies which are now collaborating with the Indian partners or companies setting up shop here, the French companies. For example, we've got Schneider, which has come up. That's a total French company. Then you got Kelios, which is now in charge of the logistics for the Hyderabad Metro Rail. That's a French company. And these companies, they would be employing technical personnel who are basically technicians, and they do not have English skills, or they do not have the regional language skills. See, when you talk about an interpreter, it's just not English that he's going to interpret into. It's also the local language, because the workers here, they speak a different language, they don't speak English. So the person should be able to interpret into the local language, be it Telugu or Hindi or Urdu. For that, we've seen can say the demand for learning has also gone up in the last 10 years. Now, for instance, we've got every session, we've got 2 sessions in a year wherein we've got 80 to 90 students coming in the morning, 7 to 9:30. Okay. And that's something phenomenal. Previously, when I was doing French, we hardly used to have about 15 to 20 people in the class. Okay. So now it's different. And the groups who are coming in to learn, previously it was the students from the arts faculty or the social science faculty. But now we've got engineering students coming in. Half the class now consists of engineering students. You could ask me why. See, the advantage with an engineering graduate having a foreign language skill, it's easy for him to be placed, because most of these multinational companies, they require people to sometimes attend to calls coming from foreign language, the French-speaking countries, or translate basic material into French to be sent out to these French-speaking francophone countries. So if there is a technical personnel with French background, if he's got, say, average, I would say second level French background, then he will do a job of 2. And that's advantageous for the company. And they also don't hesitate to pay 10,000 to 15,000 rupees more. So that's why people from these professional courses are coming in to learn French now. Okay.
So and beginning of the basics, at the university, what are the courses offered to learn French?
See, the entry level in Osmania University, we ask for minimum +2. Okay. But elsewhere in the other institutions, it's just 10th class. I personally feel there is no necessity for any basic degree or diploma to come and learn a foreign language, because what you're doing is learning a language from zero. Only thing is, you should have the ability, that what you call that aptitude first. So the university rule says it's +2, so we take students from intermediate or equivalent levels. And then we've got right now in the university, we've got diplomas. That is what we call a junior diploma, a senior diploma, and advanced diploma. A junior diploma is grosso modo equivalent to A2 level. This because now European certification is there, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2 and so on. So, junior diploma would be equivalent to A2 level, and a senior diploma I would say would be equivalent to at least, comfortable B1 they can pass. B2 too, good students can clear B2 also. Advanced diploma, which is of a 1 year duration, for these two diplomas are of 1 semester duration each. Advanced diploma is of 1 full academic year duration, and there they learn not only language, they also learn about the civilization, the culture, the literature, French literature. So they go into everything. So with that they can comfortably clear C1.
Okay.
So these are the levels. A person who's got a C1 is supposed to be quite fluent in the language.
Okay. Is there any age restriction that?
No, there is no age restriction as far as foreign languages are concerned in the Usmania University, nor is there any age restriction in the other institutions that I know of.
Okay. And what are the other universities that are offering this course?
The neighbor university, that's FLU. We also had an MA program here in Usmania University, but we had to discontinue that course because lack of, you can say, the faculty. Okay. FLU is the one which is next door. That's English and Foreign Languages University. They've got the same diplomas, plus they've got a BA program, then they've got a MA program, because that's one university which is mainly concerned with languages. Usmania University is a huge one, yes. But FLU is just languages, foreign languages and English. Of course, Hindi and Urdu and Persian, I think, maybe. Then apart from that, we've got the Hyderabad Central University, which is just started foreign languages school. It is still in the nascent stage. Okay. Then we've got Alliance Française, that is the embassies, French embassies. Then we've got other institutions like Ramakrishna Math, which also offers foreign language courses. So these are some of the institutions where the foreign language courses can be, foreign languages can be learnt. Okay. And Usmania, of course, has got one restriction is, that is, we've got classes only in the morning, whereas the other institutions like Alliance Française or Ramakrishna Math, they have got classes in the evening too, and Alliance Française has got classes throughout the day. So a student who wants to learn French can pick his time whenever he's free, then take the course at that particular time.
So, learning the French courses, which stream do you think is being more benefited? Is it the arts or the sciences or the engineering? Which one?
As I told you, these engineering graduates, that's an advantage for them when they're going for employment. The employability will be higher when the engineering graduates have got a foreign language. Which stream, it just doesn't matter, because once you know a language, the world opens up to you. Now, if you know a foreign language, say French, what can you become? You could become a professional by yourself. You don't have to work under anybody. In the sense, you could take up translation as a freelance translator. You could become an interpreter. So, interpreting and translation, I know they're very, they fetch a lot. For your information, a word translated from English to French now costs 5 rupees a word.
That's a huge amount.
And then 1 hour of interpretation is about 4,000 or 5,000 rupees. Whether you are talking or not talking, if you're employed and you're there for 1 hour, you say, yes, I'm coming at 8 o'clock, now my clock starts. So that's where there are quite a few people who do it. And then you have got the liberty, you have got the freedom to accept or reject a job. Whereas when you take up a job otherwise, be it teaching or in these multinational companies or BPOs or where call centers, you've got working hours. So you could become a professional by yourself, or become a teacher and train people to learn this, or benefit from what you have learned and go into a BPO or a call center or a multinational company and work for them. So these are basically the 3 streams that open up when you have a French background. And what about the proficiency? It depends upon the company. Some companies require just about average fluency, because I'll tell you, if you say the call center jobs, if you pick up, you must have called up some of these toll-free numbers. Yes. So when you call them up, there are a list of questions, about 20 of them, for which the answers are there. What the person has to do is understand the question, and the related answer is already pointed there. He's got to read that out. So that's the first level of call center job. For that, you don't require high skill. You just, senior diploma will be sufficient, according to me. If you go to the next level of call center, that is where you've got to explain to the client as to what has to be done with the anomaly that has come up with whatever the product that he is using, then you'll have to have your language skills. So the basic call center job requires just about mediocre levels, mediocre levels of language. That's all. So.
Speaking of career opportunities outside India, with knowing French gives me an edge when I apply for international agencies, say the UN or something.
Yeah, for that, yeah, surely, but for that you will have to have a very high, level of language skill. So, what they would require? All said and done, it's ultimately the economics that's going to work out. I'll give an example. You're telling me of trying to go and work abroad, but I'm telling you something. Things which come from abroad to be done here, which can be done in France. For instance, I'll tell you, the translation of certain materials. There are people in France who are bilinguals, and they can do it. But these companies in France, they outsource them to India. The reason being, it works out very, very, the cost is very low here. In France, for example, if you want to get something translated, a word would cost about a quarter of a euro. And euro is about 70 rupees, a quarter of a euro is going to cost how much? About 16 or 17. We can get this done for 5 rupees. See, 16 rupees and 5 rupees is 1/3 the cost. And then the quality is almost the same. So, now with this globalization, people going out is less, whereas the job coming in has become more. So you got lots of work here. So people would not want to go out. Comfortably sit at home, have your food, your Indian curry and biryani, and work here. Instead of going somewhere, get accustomed to that climate and stuff like that. But if you really want to or interested in going and working in the UN or whatever, with a particular level of proficiency, you will be treated as, you'll have to have near native speakers proficiency for that to go and work in UN. Because there is something called simultaneous translation which has to take place in the UN. So when somebody is speaking in English, you should, so that skill you should acquire. Your proficiency should be that high. If you got that, you'll get it.
Does the French department here at Osmania University offer placement cell or something like that?
There is a use, you see, in my experience, the Osmania University Placement Cell has been requesting us to send candidates for placement. But unfortunately, I could not send anybody. The reason being, all my students get absorbed even before they pass the exam. So we don't require anybody to go and, people come to us and take them away. So there's nobody left. Who do I send? So, I proudly used to tell the vice chancellors, Osmania University French department, 100% placement. We don't need any placement cell. So that's it.
You spoke of job scenarios here in India as well as abroad. So can you throw a little light on how learning French language works? Like how much time does it require for an average student to get fluent in French?
An average student, what would you say is? A person who can afford to delimit about 2 hours a day. Yeah, if a person can apportion 2 hours a day for French, to get to optimal level of proficiency, I would say is around 2 years. With the hard work that he puts in for these 2 years, he should be able to go places. And then if you want to go a little more, I would say maximum 3 years. With 3 years of, hard work, optimal hard work, not grinding morning till evening. Okay. So with 3 years, I think he should be well versed in. He should have quite a good fluency of French. And now it's not just the teacher who's going to teach you. You see, when previously when this information technology was not available, it was a classroom setting and the school setting, which would, because foreign language is one which is not spoken outside in the social setting. Foreign language is one which is only spoken in the classroom or in the corridors of the institution. But now you've got the internet. Go there. Interactive lessons are there. I mean, you can listen to, in order to get your ear training, you can listen to French being spoken on the internet. Then you've got movies you can download. Every damn thing is possible. So, supplementary material is available now, which was not previously. So, take advantage of this information technology boom, whatever is being provided. And then?
Do you think our affinity towards native tongue has an impact on the French slang? Because we are used to speaking the Indian dialect, which is completely different from the accent or the phonetics or the speaking of French. So how does it affect the language?
See, as a linguist, I would say that your mother tongue phonotactics and phonetics will definitely affect the later languages that you learn. I'll give an example. How many Indians can get the t right? 3. We drink tea. The tip of the tongue. How many of us get that particular sound right? We don't have to, because there is something called supplementation in language. You know that? For instance, you got a thin and a then. Indians do not get this thin and a then. Instead, they supplement it with thin and then, because these are the sounds which are already there in your repertoire. The same way, when you're learning French, there is a uvular r, like rose. Rose is a rose, and the French don't have a r, so you can supplement it with a r. For that matter, the Canadian French, they do it. They do supplement the r with a r. So definitely the mother tongue phonotactics and the phonetics will definitely, they will affect the other languages. But how are you going to overcome that? You can always try to learn the new sounds. Okay? So that comes up when you get interested into learning. So basically when you start, yeah, you're going to have this. But as you progress, you're going to realize that these are different from the, when I'll tell you, a Chinese cannot make a difference between a l and a r. It is rice for him. It's not rice. So afterwards, when you go ahead, when you're being subjected to that particular language, your ear is being subject to the language for a while, you will recognize the difference. And then that is for the individual to learn or acquaint himself with that particular sound and then adapt it. I hope people who are watching this will take a clue from what they have been trying to do, and then may take advantage of what the university is doing, what several institutions are doing in promoting the spread of this language, French, because this is going to be a language which might again get the glory it had about 70 years ago. English has overtaken, but French could come back. So I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm sure many more students will take to learning French after all the insights that you have given us into learning French and the opportunities one gets after one has learned the language.